Donald Trump has reacted angrily to accusations by the US Justice Department that his advisors likely concealed classified documents found in an FBI search of his Florida home. He suggested that agents staged a photo of papers strewn across the floor. The Justice Department's court filing offers the clearest picture so far of what drove the FBI to carry out the search of his property in the first place. It also says that while Mr. Trump's lawyers swore under oath that they'd returned all relevant documents, only half were handed back. Well, earlier I spoke to Naeem Rahmani, who's a former US federal prosecutor and now president of West Coast Trial Lawyers, and I asked him what was the nature of the obstruction of justice.
This is the big question. When the affidavit in support of the search warrant was unsealed last week, and it was heavily redacted, of course, there were clear violations of the two previous acts, but we didn't know what the basis for the obstruction of justice probable cause was. There was some speculation that maybe it was related to the Congressional January 6th committee because they had subpoenaed the documents from the National Archives. Now we know that it had nothing to do with that. It had to do with a separate grand jury subpoena issued to Donald Trump. And his lawyers reportedly said that they had turned over everything. Well, turns out that wasn't true. In addition, when the FBI agents were executing the search warrant, Donald Trump's representatives reportedly told them not to go in a storage room where documents were being stored.
Okay, how serious is that as a breach of statute to make a false statement to a federal officer?
It's very serious. These are all felonies that potentially may result in terms of federal imprisonment. Now, of course, for one to end up in federal prison, they have to be indicted and charged first. And the question is Attorney General Merrick Garland going to do that?
Now, taken in the round, in your professional view, do the actions of Donald Trump and his lawyers show intent here? Because it appears that there is an embarrassment of evidence, and the big question is whether or not the DOJ is actually going to do anything about it.
That's absolutely right. There's no question that a crime has been committed. And if you're a prosecutor, you always want to get in the head of your target. So to prove intent, to prove knowledge. And that's absolutely what's happened here because of the communications between the FBI, the National Archives, and Donald Trump and his representatives. And not just at Mar-a-Lago. When he was at the White House, he was told that you must preserve these documents. And reportedly, he was stripping them up and flushing them down the toilet. So there's plenty of evidence here that crimes have been committed. But again, it requires a prosecutor to actually move forward.